Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I am glad that you all can join me again. My name is Shavi Zane, um, and I am coming on to have another discussion with the chosen seed, so that we can be updated and that we can stay in alignment with one another in regards to what's happening around us, what might be happening internally for us as a collective, and how we can move through this thing as we continue to move towards rebuilding or structuring a new kingdom. Okay, because as we know, the current structure has fallen. Okay, in the spiritual realm, they have lost the spiritual warfare, and so right now they're scrambling, trying to find various tactics to use against the chosen seed, so that we do not restructure and come together to build the new foundation. Okay, which is where we are today. So I actually, my intentions is to title this, The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. Okay, so likely that's the title that you are seeing as you have joined me here. The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. So I start that by saying we know that the media, okay, all forms of media, whether it's through social media, television, radio, music, it doesn't matter, any form of media is being ran by the current powers that were. Okay, those who have created the structure from criminality, bloodshed, witchcraft, and multiple things of that nature. So we know that everything that is being pushed by these people is going to be is to create a specific illusion. Okay, is to create or to incite a specific emotion from the masses. Okay, and so I say the revolution will not be televised, because we have to consider the fact that these people built this structure off of their ego. Okay, their ego and a very wicked agenda. These people felt very inferior, and so this is why they had to come in. This is why they felt they needed to come in to take things by force and to use the energy of bloodshed and fear um, in order to feed the vessel, in order to feed the body that they have created. Okay, now this body is currently dying. Why? Because the energy that they was using the most was that of the chosen seed. And for generations, our ancestors, the fear that they had placed within our ancestors and the multiple things that they did to our ancestors was largely uh, the energetic source that they was feeding off of in the spiritual realm. Okay, and so now that we are here, the chosen seed have awakened. We are all coming together. I don't know how many of us have actually officially awakened and separated ourselves spiritually from this system. But based on the energy that we are projecting at this time, it has been enough for us to actually be in this energy of being able to see that the structure is coming down. You should be able to feel that energy. If you felt like you had a dark cloud over you or a heavy weight that was over you, you should be able to feel that energy lifting off of you. Now, what I will tell you is that I've been getting a lot of messages, I've been getting a lot of revelations in regards to the structure, the agenda, okay, things that have been happening behind the scenes, things that you will more than likely never see on television, because again, the revolution will not be televised. And so the things that they will put at the forefront of the media is only going to be those things that they want the public to see and know about. But there's many things that these people have been doing behind the scenes. Okay, cults, magic, uh, energy harvesting, um, using children as a source of energy for this structure in a very wicked way. And that's one of the subject matters that I want to discuss with you all today. But I also want to let you know that they've ran out of tactics, they've ran out um, of various ways to try to hold up the structure. And so at this point, they're just pretty much recycling things that they have been doing. Okay, and so the jab and all of these things is strongly something that they're trying to use to keep people afraid, and in hopes that enough people will get in line to turn into robots, so that they can maintain or have enough people to support them in rebuilding a structure of what they would consider to be supremacy for them, power. Okay, because they know that it's over with, but they're hanging on by a thread at this point. They do not want to let go of this structure. Okay, but the foundation was not built on a solid foundation, it was built on wickedness, and so therefore it's coming down pretty much in wickedness. But the wickedness that they built it on, they're now having to deal with that. So there's a lot of internal conflict. They're fighting up against each other behind the scenes, okay? You might not see this at the forefront, but they're not going to put it out there. They're fighting with each other behind the scenes. There's everything that they tried to project to us, everything that they was doing to us is beginning to happen to them and their families on a very large scale, okay? And so one of their last tactics that they are wanting to use against the chosen seed is dark magic. They're wanting to use this in order to take us out of that space of understanding the mysteries of the universe, because we are very tapped in. We understand things from a much higher level of consciousness, and it's growing. Our knowledge and our wisdom is expanding more and more as we continue to heal and as we continue to nurture our vessel. Okay, and so the agenda at this point now is to try to take us out of that energy, put us back into an energy of not of being codependent on the system. They want to put us back into this energy of feeling as if we don't have what it takes in order to manifest exactly what it is that we want. And so they have people working behind the scenes that are in heavy witchcraft, dark magic, witches, warlocks. They're using their energy to try and create certain mental anguish within us. So definitely continue to stay in the now. That's very important. Stay in the moment. Stay in the energy of gratitude. Continue to do things from a space of love, integrity, and honor. And definitely when you are thinking, if you find yourself going backwards or slipping backwards into lack mentality or worrying about money or worrying about being dependent on the system, do not allow it to pull you backwards. You have to recognize what these people are doing and what the agenda is. Everything is spiritual before it's physical. And so right now they understand that we are operating as from more of our spiritual selves, the chosen seed. We are understanding ourselves from more of a spiritual perspective, disconnecting ourselves more or less from the material world. And so now they want to try to come in and see what manipulation they can do in order to shift us backwards, okay? So keep that in mind. If you find yourself slipping or if you find yourself feeling like you're going backwards emotionally, just know that there is manipulation that they are attempting to do, but it's not going to work. This is only their last level of hope in order to try to get to us, okay? They already know that the robots that they have created, those who still have a strong umbilical cord and tied to the system, those people will be heavily dependent on this structure. But because the structure is coming down, they're not going to tell these people this. These people are just going to be caught by surprise, okay? It's going to catch them off guard when they find out, okay? Because what's going to happen is these people are going to start to flee the land. They're going to start to try to run away from their karma, but wherever they go, it's going to catch them. There's nothing that they can do about it. And so that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to run away as far away as possible, because as we understand, most people have to realize that the structure is built around people who are behind the scenes. Those who are in so-called power are not the ones who you see at the forefront. They are not the president. They are not the vice president. They are not the political or the House, of Congress or whoever these people are. They are not those people. The ones who are actually in power are the ones who we don't see. The ones that you hear about through so-called conspiracy theories, but it's the ones that we don't see. And they use very wicked measures of corruption in order to keep this structure going. They only use these other people as puppets, but they themselves have been the puppet masters, okay? But within this structure, they're all starting to fight against each other. Everyone that was working in this conspiracy in order to keep us blinded to who we are and blinded to the illusion, they are all starting to fight against each other because they realize that the spiritual warfare has been lost on their end. And so they know that it's only inevitable that eventually what's happening is the physical structure is beginning to come down. So they're going to start losing their lives. They're going to start getting very ill. Like I said, they're going to start trying to flee the land. Many different things is going to be happening to these people on various levels, okay? And they're not going to want the public to know about it. It's going to be something that they try to keep hush-hush as long as possible, because just like with any person that does things based off of ego, let's just say, for instance, if you created a business and you was walking around, in this ego, though. You did it all from ego. You did it by hurting others or by taking from others. And then you finally created this huge structure to where you could walk around and, beat your chest for all of these corrupt things that you did to create this large structure. That person who was in their ego, who did all of these bad things, would never be the first person to tell the world, I'm losing it all. No, they're just going to pretty much, the world will hear about it, but this person is going to go and hide. Okay, they're going to put their head in between their tails because they don't want the world to see that they have lost. Okay, that's what the ego does. And so these people are not going to televise what is happening. So if you're looking for different things to happen, just pay attention. One way that you can know exactly what's going on with the current structure is to see what's going on within us, because we are the ones that are going to create the new foundation. Okay, and so you want to be very clear about what's happening within you, because you are the chosen seed. And as the chosen seed, we are here to grow in unison, again, to create a new foundation. And so as within, so without. Whatever is happening within us as a collective body is what will be happening externally. The opposite effect is going to be happening for them. And so we are building our foundation from a space of love and from a space of integrity. Okay, and so because we're building our foundation from a space of love and integrity, and they built their foundation from a space of fear and hatred, then what is going to happen when we create this foundation? We're creating a new beginning for the entire form of humanity. Okay, and so what's going on internally within us is going to be a direct reflection of what's happening for them outside. Okay, and so when we're in alignment, they're in disalignment. When we are in disalignment, they are in alignment, because they use the energy, especially of the chosen seed. And so we have to be mindful and stay very conscious of how we're feeling. What is our thought processes? What are we focused on? Who are we allowing into our space and into our circle? How confident are we in knowing that this shift is taking place? We need to come out. If you're still in that energy of hoping, or if you're still in that energy of just kind of believing, you got to come up out of that. We have to all collectively be in an energy of knowing that the battle has already been won in the spiritual realm, and that it's just a matter of time, a matter of cycles that need to occur at this time in order for us to see it physically through our natural eyes. So like I said, as within, so without. We create the structure. So be very cognizant of what's going on internally for you. Okay, because I feel like that there is this push and pull in terms of our morals. Okay, feeling very rigid and wondering if we have to stay confined or bound to an old way, an old traditional way of expressing ourselves to the world in terms of our spirituality or in terms of our knowledge. We have wisdom that expands out into the universe. Okay, we see it from various layers. Okay, and so for some of you, because you're starting to gain all of this information, you're starting to wonder, okay, I don't think the way that other people think. Am I stepping too far outside of the lines? No, you're exactly where you need to be. And as a matter of fact, you need to continue to rise higher. But as you continue to rise higher, just remember to stay grounded and stay connected to Mother Nature, and to also feed yourself with nature, green vegetables and plants, and fruits and water, because this is actually what's going to help you to stay balanced through with the spiritual realm and the physical realm, and that infinite, like I always say, the infinity sign, that infinite the vessel of the infinity sign between the spirit and the flesh will constantly remain in balance. Okay, you want to keep the balance, and you want to keep the flow going between the two. You don't want to be too focused in on the material realm. We've come out of that. You don't want to be completely submerged in the spiritual. You want to maintain a balance between the two things, so that we can come together to rebuild this structure. And so these people are going to try to play on your mind through dark magic. Okay, keep that in mind now. But we are not going to allow that, because collectively, individually, we're going to maintain our focus and continue to keep a cautious take on what's happening with us internally. Okay, constantly doing checks on ourselves. And so we have here marriage. That's the first card coming out, marriage. Something about marriage. Let's see what's here. Poverty. Okay, so they might be, like I said, they're going to try to take us back into this lack mindset. Okay, and so If you're currently in a connection, if you're currently in a connection and there is a fear of releasing yourself from this connection, yeah, you're probably, if you're in a connection, if you're in a marriage, there's something about despair here. So if you're in a connection or some sort of marriage, this could actually, I'm largely feeling like this is not necessarily a marriage between two people, because I want to stay on focus, on track here, on topic. I feel like this is a marriage between the structure and the people. Okay, it's something about being in despair because there's a fear that there's getting ready to be lack. There's a fear that that someone is getting ready to be without, and I strongly feel that that's the so-called powers that were. They know that they are losing their position. Yeah, official person. They are losing their position. Okay, in this, and being in this position of authority, they're losing it because there's a separation that's happening. There's a separation that's happening, okay? And I always use the analogy of what they have created is a body, but the body that they created and the way that they are receiving their energy source has been through wickedness, okay? And it has been through fear tactics, but we are creating a new body. And as this new body, we are separating ourselves from them, and we are creating a body where the energy source is coming from love and integrity and compassion. So there is no these two bodies cannot merge together because it's not equally yoked, it's not balanced, okay? And so there's a despair here. These people know that they're coming out of this space of supremacy. They're no longer in the space of power. Yeah, false person, okay? False person, because we're recognizing that these people have been wearing a mask. We're recognizing that these people have been just, showing themselves to be one way, trying to make the public believe that they are one way, but knowing that behind the scenes, and it doesn't take somebody to do that much digging to see that these people have been very corrupt and that they are outright criminals. But because they have been so great at creating an illusion, okay, because like I said, these people are warlocks. They do a lot of black magic, dark magic, and witchcraft against the people in order to keep you blinded, because a person that's operating in their right mind would never be able to say, I want to support a structure that has been built on criminality. But even I was a part of that, where I was blindfolded to the agenda, and I was the same person that stood in the lines at the voting polls waiting to give my input on who would be the next president, in hopes that somehow this would bring this thing back together. You cannot support a structure that was built on wickedness, because the growth, the seed that was planted, it was planted through bloodshed and wickedness, criminality. So what is going to grow from a seed of wickedness? Wickedness. You see what I'm saying? And so the whole structure, the whole head is sick. You see what I'm saying? The whole body is sick. And so we was underneath an illusion, underneath these generational curses, spells, dark magic from generation to generation, passed down from your family members, where they try to tell you, well, your ancestors fought to become a part of the structure. What I tell people now, my answer now is, well, do you ever consider the fact that their intentions was good to fight, their intentions was good, but that they was fighting the wrong fight? We should not have never been fighting to become a part of something so corrupt that was built on the bloodshed of our ancestors. And because we fought to do that, we gave it energy. We became the energy source to keep the structure going. Now we are pulling our energy back and creating our own body. And so these people know that we see past the mask. We see past the illusion, and they are in despair because they know that there is a separation that is happening between us at this time, and they're no longer going to be in this place of superiority, okay, and power, okay, and they're getting ready to lose a lot financially as well. In the distant horizons, this thing is becoming unhinged. Whatever kept it in place, whatever kept that structure, which was us, our energy is what kept this thing in place. We kept that anchor there in place, but now it's becoming unhinged, and their whole structure is getting ready to just poof. It's going to be gone just like that. The whole structure is over with, okay? And they know this. Yeah, privileged lady. So there was a lot of people who benefited A lot of people who benefited from the corruption of the structure, okay? They was able to, you know, have a lot of money, have the homes and, the land and all of these different things, but that privilege is coming up. It's becoming unhinged, okay? Because these people were thieves. They were always in this energy of stealing. That's all they've ever done was steal. They became this privileged lady through stealing, through theft, okay? That was always the agenda. But we are in that energy of being the mature woman. We are in that energy of separating ourselves. We know who we are, okay? And so let me see what else is coming out here. Paid under the table. Paid under the table. And so that's what I'm seeing here, even with the theft, okay? You can see there's a young boy there that's trying to steal, and there's a woman here that's trying to distract this man so that the boy can steal from him. Okay, so there was always this energy of them trying to use distractors so that we wouldn't be able to see that right up underneath our noses they was taking from us and they was stealing from us because they wanted to keep us in this state of illusion. And so paid under the table. There have been people who have been paid under the table to maintain this conspiracy. All right. It's over. It's over. It's over. Whoever was involved in this, it's over. Now, one thing that I did see, this says sister. One thing that I was able to see in the messages that have been coming to me is that there has been a large cult, okay, a very corrupt cult that has been using children, and they have a sex ring, a sex trafficking ring where they're using children and doing a lot of perverted acts to children. Okay, and they are using these children, they're taking the energy from these children, the fear and the energy from these children in order to use it to keep the structure going. It's like a blood supply to keep their structure going. Okay, and so one thing that I was able to see, because I expressed this on a different platform, I was able to see that there are people within our families, okay? We know that we have karmic relatives that we came into this lifetime with who was specifically placed around us to try to keep us from understanding who we are and to keep us stuck in this place of conditioning and in the space of bondage, and to actually be the ones to cause stumbling blocks for us as we awaken to who we are. And so there's a sister. Many of you might have a sister who is actually being paid under the table, and that is a large part of the conspiracy against you. If you have a sister that you've had to walk away from because they're toxic and you know that there's something about their spirit that's just not right, just know that the sister has been paid under the table. This card came out again. This is 2 times, paid under the table, okay? The sister has been paid under the table in order to conspire against you, but her plan is over, okay? Like I said, everything is coming out. Those false people that was in your life, they're getting ready to come to the forefront, okay? You're getting ready to see it clearly what this situation was, and they are in despair because they're getting ready to go into a space of poverty. They was privileged, okay? That might have even been your sister, where she had some privileges. She might have been able to get a new home and all of these different things because she was being paid under the table to conspire against you. But now she's in despair because she knows that she's getting ready to go into poverty. Okay, so let's see what else is coming out. That's too many cards, y'all. Hold on. We're going to see exactly how this message goes, because whatever comes out is what you need to know about. Yes, the sister is very jealous of you. There's a lot of jealousy here. And this is why she was so willing to work against you, because she understood that you are a mature, I might be speaking to a mature man or woman, take it how it resonates, but she understood that you carry yourself with the space of honor and integrity, okay? You've always been very poised in the way that you carry yourself from a young child all the way into adulthood, but even more so now, you're even more balanced in your energy. And so this sister was very jealous of that, okay? And this is why she was so willing to get paid up underneath the table to conspire against you. Mother. Many of you have a mother, a karmic mother, who was also involved in a situation, whether it's your actual mother or someone that you see as a mother. This could be a grandmother figure. This could be a stepmother. This is someone who was also working alongside this sister to conspire against you out of jealousy and also getting paid under the table. So if you found yourself, look at this, karmic family. If you found yourself pulling away from a mother, a sister, and many of your family members, because you felt that the energy that they was bringing around, look at this, it says sacrifice you at the bottom of the deck. The energy that they was bringing around you was a very negative energy, especially in your awakening. You started to feel very uncomfortable in their presence. You felt like something wasn't right, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. It's because these people was working together, getting paid. They was getting paid by somebody now. Okay, and I feel like it might have been a person that was in a position of authority. They was getting paid by somebody to work against you. Okay, and they had built this structure off of that. The structure that they had built it off of that. All right, yeah, to sacrifice you, and like I said, they was using, when I mentioned the children, these cults. Okay, I feel like you might have family who was also a part of these cults, because one thing that came out in my message earlier, it might come out in this message here, is that these people was also working alongside the Illuminati. Okay, now this might be a very overwhelming for you all to hear at this time, but this is what I have been guided to express to the masses, to the chosen seed. Okay, because these things will be coming to the forefront. Everything that is hidden behind the behind the scenes will have to come to light. Okay, and so this is why it's so important for you to continue to remain balanced, because there will be things, there will be revelations that will come to you, and you're going to start to be able to put the pieces to this together. Okay, and so the thief, you see that child that's back there, they was using children as a way of, carrying out their conspiracy. They was using these children in order to sacrificing children, and as well as trying to sacrifice you. This says wanted to cause illness. And so, yes, one of the large parts of the agenda was to bring illness against you, maybe even bring illness against your children or those who are close to you that you love. That's why they was doing this. They was conspiring to see what they could do in order to get to your inheritance. Ultimately, that's what this is all about. Because like I told you all before, you have to go back and watch my older videos. The U.S. government is a corporation. It is a business. It is a non-for-profit business. Okay, and these people have established this off of you, off of your debt, off of your inheritance. Your social security number is actually a account. Okay, and so these people use this account in order to gain their wealth off of you. Okay, and so you have to recognize that many of these people that was in your family, they was working alongside many of these so-called government officials in order to take over your account and to take over your inheritance. But they're out of tricks. That's what I said from the very beginning. These people are out of tricks. They don't know what else to do, because like I said, the Most High has already structured it so that at this time, the whole corruption, everything would become unhinged. Okay, the whole structure would have to become undone. We're no longer allowing them, we're no longer feeding them with our energy anymore, because we see through the illusion. And so now they don't know what else to do, because if they don't have our energy, the chosen energy, then pretty much what else do they have to work with? All they can do is continue to recycle those things, those tactics that they was using. And the robots that they have here, the energy source that they project out there is not powerful enough in order for their so-called empire to remain. Okay, and so now they're out of tricks here, and these people who are your family, who's a part of this, they know they're in despair now, because they don't know what else to do. They know that the secrets are coming out, and they know that they're moving towards poverty now. They're moving towards losing everything that they had, because the agenda was to set you up. But like I just told you all, we are protected. We have been strongly protected. And so this is why their plan, their conspiracy against us, it did not work. Okay, the conspiracy did not work. There was also a spouse or a lover that was involved in this. So if you all, like I said, we saw marriage coming out. That was the first card that showed up. If you all have been in a marriage, you was in a very karmic marriage, or maybe a long-term commitment with someone who always seemed like they was against you, like they was jealous of you, like they was always trying to do things to tear down your mental, or to tear down your heart, to make you stop believing in love. These people was all conspiring together, working together. Okay, yeah, to keep you stuck. They was all doing this together. They was working together, and they're facing jail time. These people are facing jail time for what they've done, because they knew that you was chosen the whole time. And this is why now they're facing some heavy judgment. Heavy judgment is what they're facing right now for their tactics against you, because we now have the victory. Like I said, we have already won. We have already won in a spiritual realm, okay? And so let me see what else we have. We have theft. So we already saw the theft card coming out right here, okay? These people, the agenda was to steal your inheritance, block finances. They was trying to block your finances and block you from receiving your inheritance. And they wanted to sacrifice you using dark magic, okay? This is what they was doing. So you might have found yourself, a karmic partner. You might have found yourself going through a lot of financial strife, having one stumbling block after the next, especially within the past few years. That's when they really started going in heavy on us, okay? And so many of you might have a lot of stories to tell in terms of maybe about the last 5 years or less, in terms of the different things that you have been going through. It was becoming more intense, because that's because they was using more tactics against us, knowing that in the age of Aquarius, which is where we're at now, we will begin to awaken. And so they had to go harder. They had to send more things at us and use more tactics against us to try to keep us asleep. And so this is why we was going through so many different things. Just it seems like things was coming back to back to back. And so now, like I said, you had a karmic partner, you had a false friend, what does this say? A false female friend, okay, that was in on this situation to steal from you. These people they might have even been trying to cause addictions in your life. If you had to overcome addictions, then that's also something that they was trying to put out there in order to keep you in this low vibrational state and to keep you in this energy of guilt and shame and not being able to see the bigger picture. And to see through the illusion. And so addictions was something that was strongly used. And I'm also feeling as if these people were addicted to, using these tactics against the chosen seed. They was addicted to doing that, but the whole time their dark magic and everything that they was doing against us was working in our favor. Because in that moment when we started going through those things, we started turning within and we started healing. We started saying, okay, well, what is it that I need to address within me that's causing me to attract these types of situations? At least that's what I was doing. Okay, the last thing that I was thinking about at that time was people doing dark magic over my life. I was more focused on, okay, well, what is it that I need to change about myself? What is it that I need to heal? Okay, well, if I'm losing finances, then I must be in an energy of lack mentality. So let me shift the way that I think about the way that I think about wealth. Let me shift the way that I think about money and the way that I think about my existence here and the fact that I am naturally taken care of because I know that I am chosen. I was coming into that understanding of knowing that I was chosen. And so in knowing that you are chosen, you have to know that you are taken care of. You see what I'm saying? And so I was going within and I was like, I wasn't thinking about anybody outside of me trying to manipulate the situation until I started to wake up even more. The more that I healed, it was like the Most High was saying, okay, now that you have healed through that, I'm going to give you more information about what's happening. And now I'm going to give you more information. It was like he was giving me more pieces to the puzzle the more that I did the work to heal. Okay, and so they was doing all of these things against you, but it was working in our favor the whole time. Okay, and so now these people, they're false mask. You see that false mask? We already saw that come out earlier in the other deck. Okay, false mask. That's two people in that picture that's wearing a mask. Okay, so this could be a spouse. It would take it how it resonates, whether you have a female spouse or a male spouse, and this could also be that false female friend. This could be that sister. You know that these false masks are coming off of these people, and they are getting ready to face some prison time. Now, understand, imprisonment, there's different methods of imprisonment, okay? You can be imprisoned mentally, you can be in prison spiritually, or you can be in prison physically. I feel like a lot of these people are going to be facing actual jail time as well as just being mentally trapped in their karma, mentally trapped in knowing what they have done against you and having to deal with those same demons that they tried to conjure up to sin against you. They are now going to be tortured and having to deal with those demons themselves, because one thing about conjuring up those type of energies and spirits is that if it doesn't get what it wants, it's going to find some sort of supply to feed off of. And so now it's being directed back to them. What you put out there is what you receive back. Okay, and so these people, because we are operating at such a high vibration, lower level entities can't touch us. You see what I'm saying? We are protected. We are naturally protected by the Most High and our whole spiritual team that He has assigned to us. And so these energies can't touch us, especially the more that we stay in that energy of love and in faith and in gratitude. okay, and just keeping that inner balance and peace. That's why I told you from the very beginning that one of the last tactics that they're going to try to use is they're going to try to come against you emotionally and mentally to see if they can put you back to sleep, because they know that you have the keys to the universe. They know that you see this thing from a higher level of consciousness. And so they're going to try to use that type of manipulation in the spiritual realm in order to take you back into that space of lack mentality and feeling like you have to be codependent on the system, and also putting you back into that space of rigidity where you're concerned about your morals. Am I morally correct? Am I doing the right thing? Maybe even trying to push religion back on you to put you back in that space of wondering, well, am I going to go to hell for stepping outside of the box? No, that's always been a tactic to keep you underneath the illusion, and that's why they inserted that into our into the conditioning when they did it. They did it during the time of slavery, after they had come in and, tore down our structure and the way that we saw life and the way that we connected to nature and the cosmos, and understood who we were as a people and our strength and our power. After they removed that from us, they turned around and gave us something that would keep us always stuck in this energy of fear of stepping outside of the lines, fear of disobeying the so-called master. That's what they wanted to do. And so we actually, it worked for a time in the age of Pisces. The Pisces stands for the fish, and so does the when you think about religion, the fish is is used regularly in order to and to express the symbolism of Christianity. Okay, and so in the age of Pisces, that's when we was up underneath that construct, and we was placed in that space of fear. But now in the age of Aquarius, this is the time of seeking. So you need to continue to be in that energy of seeking the truth and knowing that it's going to come to you. Ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and you will find it, because you're already in that energy of, naturally it's in your DNA to be able to unlock those Akashic records. It's in your DNA. And so this is why these people was coming up against you so strongly, because they knew they was getting paid under the table. Many people was benefiting from you being asleep. They was benefiting from this financially, and they was also able to avoid their judgment for a time, because as long as we was asleep, then they was able to bypass their own judgment. But now that we have awakened, we are calling out for righteous judgment. We are speaking out, and we have put that out there into the universe. Okay, we have awakened to the agenda. So now that we know the truth, because you can't take nothing before a judge unless you actually have a case. And so because we was in this energy of illusion and we wasn't able to see what was going on, we couldn't really call out and express to the Most High and to that governmental structure that's in a spiritual realm first, because there's a higher level of authority before there's a spiritual one. There's one in there's a higher level of authority in the spiritual realm before there's one in the physical. This one that they have right here is nothing in comparison. So we couldn't speak out to the true judge, okay, about our case. We couldn't cry out about our case until we actually understood what the case was, until we could actually bring the evidence forward. And so this is why so many things are starting to be revealed to us, but it's coming in like little, like I said, pieces to a puzzle, because to put all of that on us at one time, it would have been overwhelming to have all of that knowledge. And so this is why it's so important to heal. As you continue to heal, you'll be able to take on this information and receive it without allowing it to lower your vibrations or put you in that energy of fear or worry. You see what I'm saying? So let me keep going. Yeah, look at this. They fear their karma. They fear their karma because it's coming. And this is what I was just telling you about, us taking it before the judge. Now the judge can actually establish righteous judgment, okay, over the situation, because we now have the case. We now have the evidence. We are able to present the evidence, okay? This is what has been shown to me. This is what has been revealed to me. Now I come before you to ask you to establish righteous judgment over the heads of everyone who has been involved in this conspiracy against me and against my children and against those that I love. Any and everyone that was a part of this, I seek your I thank you for the righteous judgment that you have established over their heads, and you allow it to be. And trust and believe, as we start doing that in unison as a collective body, man, we're gonna see this thing turn around so fast. Our heads, their heads is gonna spin, because they're not gonna know what hit them. All they're gonna know is that, They was already losing, but now the whole structure just comes crumbling down, especially once we come together in unison with one mind, one voice, to create, like I said, the universe, okay? One verse, universe, one verse. We have to come together with one sound, knowing that this is the case, that as a collective, we are presenting in the spiritual realm. We are letting them know that we see that there's corruption. We know that they are trying to come after, but that they have been using our inheritance and attempting to sacrifice us to keep their vessel going, okay? They have used these fear tactics against us. They have strategically gone and infiltrated within the family to use these people, these karmic family members, to try to place addictions over our lives, to try to throw stumbling blocks our way, to try to mess with our mental, to make us think that we was losing our minds, that we was crazy, to mess with our finances. These are different things that we have to take before the judge, the true and righteous judge, okay? And so, karma returned. Karma is returned, because why? Real judgment is coming through. And that's why I always tell people, especially if you ever detected that someone was doing dark magic against you, one of the craziest things, one of the silliest things that you could do is to try to do something to send it back to them, because now you have to work with the same lower level energy that they had to work with in order to actually send it back. And so then it just becomes this boomerang effect, where it's not just it's a constant, there's nothing there to actually destroy that energy. It'll just be a back and forth. You send it to me, I send it back to you, and both of you are working with the same lower level entity in order to do that. No, we take our cases to the Most High God and to our spiritual team, the holy angels, our ancestors of love and light. We have them step in to exact righteous judgment over the heads of these people, because the judgment that comes from our spiritual team is far greater than anything that we can do by conjuring up a lower level entity to match these people's energy in their attempts against us. They are facing, karma has been returned, y'all. Karma has been returned. So when you start seeing things happening to these people around you, your sister, your mother, whoever that is, mother figure, spouse, when you start seeing things happening to them, just know that it's only because that karma, those things that they was trying to do against you behind your back, secretly, this conspiracy that they had against you, now understand that they are receiving righteous judgment over their heads for that. And there's some very major karmic lessons that they're going to have to learn. Some people is going to get ill. Some people will lose their life. Why? Because they wanted to sacrifice you and take your life. And so the ultimate judgment for trying to send that type of energy out there is going to boomerang back to them, but at a much stronger degree, okay, in terms of their punishment, because it ain't coming from us. It's coming from a higher authority. And so you're going to see people lose their lives. You're going to see people lose finances and go into a space of poverty. You're going to see people lose their homes. I mean, everything you can think of. Their minds, it's just going to be like that, because that's what they did to themselves, okay? They should not have never tried it with us. They should not have done this. This says millions of dollars have been at stake. And this is why these people were so willing to sacrifice you, because they knew that they're so fixated on materialism that millions of dollars was worth their own soul. They thought they was going to use this against you to take your soul, but the millions of dollars was worth their own soul. Please understand that these accounts that are under, through our social security numbers, yes, they are worth millions, if not more. Okay? Yes, these accounts are worth that much. And so understand that our inheritance is great. It is great, y'all. And one of my last readings, we saw that sudden wealth is coming into the chosen seed, because we're going to use that as a way of, this says truth. Okay, they've been working against you. This is the truth, okay? We're going to use that inheritance in order to establish a new foundation. We're going to use it to build. We're going to use those materials to build our kingdom, okay? And so, yes, our inheritance is great, and it's also because we've earned that inheritance, okay? So let me see. I just want to pull a couple of cards just to give y'all... because this thing is already going into an hour. It takes a long time for these readings to upload, but I just feel like I want to make sure that everything that needs to come out comes out in this message. If you want a private session from me, you can always email me. I'll leave my email in the description box below. And if you find that this was resonated with you in any way, whether your spirit you felt like it was reawakening something, or you're coming into a space of remembrance, or like this is, you know, those mysteries that you felt like you couldn't quite put your finger on it, then let me know. Comment below, because I love to get the feedback so that I can see what's happening with the chosen in terms of, you know, coming from your mouth. Okay, because this is energetically what I'm picking up on. And so I want to be able to hear you all express these things as well. If you feel comfortable enough expressing those things to me. Yeah, this says illegal sex videos, blackmail. Okay, so somebody is getting blackmailed for some illegal sex videos that they was doing. Like I told you all from the very beginning, I saw that there is a child sex trafficking ring that has been used, and so they was probably videotaping these children. Okay, they was probably videotaping these children, and somebody is being blackmailed for the situation. So there will be an investigation. They're starting to, like I said, these structures, everybody that was a part of this thing to try to keep us asleep and to try to steal from us, is coming down from the inside out. Okay, and so they're starting to go against one another. They're fighting against one another. Okay, I don't know why this lighting is so crazy today. It seems like it's kind of going in and out. But yeah, they're fighting against each other. Hold on, y'all. Okay, and so we have here crooked religious structure. There is some sort of cult that is trapping these children, trapping these people. Yeah, some sort of religious structure. Okay, crooked religious structure that's been doing some things in terms of illegal sex acts, illegal sex activities, and they're now starting to blackmail one another here. So they know what's been going on, and so people are scrambling. They're afraid, they're in despair, and so they don't want to go out. They'd rather try to just, you know, pin it off on each other, but none of them can escape their karma. No, none of these people can escape their karma, regardless of who tries to go forward and say, okay, I'm going to tell on this person to avoid my judgment. They can't avoid it. They can't avoid it. Even if they can do it for a short time, you can't avoid what happens when you go and lay down at night and you can't keep them demons up off of you when you're trying to sleep. Okay, this says working with the Illuminati. That's what I just told y'all earlier. These people are working with the Illuminati. The FBI is actually investigating this case. And then you also have an aunt that is involved in this situation. So you got a sister, a mother, an aunt, a spouse, and a lover. Okay, a spouse or lover, sister, mother, aunt. And I also saw a false female friend. And so you have these people, they have been working with the Illuminati. Y'all might want to do some research on the Illuminati or whatever information these people have readily put out there, because one thing about this situation is that they cannot withhold information from us, because if they do that, then they would take away our free will to understand what's happening. Okay, and so there has been a lot of people that have spoken about the Illuminati, but everybody looked at it as being a conspiracy theory. It is not a conspiracy theory. These people actually exist. They are part of a cult. And so this has been, I'm assuming that is that crooked religious structure. It might have been people who was in a space of authority that was highly respected by the community, but behind closed doors, they was working with the Illuminati, okay? And the FBI is on their asses. They're being investigated, and there's an aunt that is involved in this situation, okay? The aunt was also being paid. Okay, we have here false friend. Yeah, you got a false friend that's been around you that was a part of this, and then you'll have a private investigator. That's what I was just saying. There's somebody who was inside of this situation who has been investigating this, so somebody who has been able to infiltrate this situation, but they're doing it without these people knowing who they are. So they probably ended up reaching out to the wrong person and bringing in the wrong person, but it's the right person for us, because understand, our holy angels, our ancestors, the Most High has constructed it so that this structure will come down. And so this person was sent on our behalf to investigate this situation. And so there is a private investigator who I feel is who is a part of the FBI, who sees the situation. They know what's going on, and yeah, these people are going to try to blackmail one another by saying, well, you was on tape. I saw you on tape doing a sexual act. And so I'm going to try to, they're going to try to see who they can put out first to keep themselves from being on the front line. But it doesn't matter. Let me see. I'm going to just take all of these since they came out. This says hidden evidence. So there's a lot of evidence that is being hidden. Okay. This says warlock. I told you there's a lot of dark magic that's being done, so there is a warlock that's involved in this. And this says he is lying. So if you know anyone that is a part of, that seems like they're into the dark side of the occult, where they're using dark magic and things like that, then, and you're communicating with this person and they might be questioning or something like that, you know that this person is lying, okay? Even if you don't know who these people are, because most of the agenda happens behind the scenes. And that's the one thing that I had expressed to you all from the very beginning when we talk about even the so-called U.S. governmental structure, where I was talking to you about the puppets versus the puppet masters. Every large conspiracy that happens, there's usually people that you don't necessarily know up front and upright, because they're doing it in secret. They're doing it behind your back, okay? Because they want to stay hidden so that the structure won't come down. All right, but understand, even if you don't know who these people are, that this is actually going on. Know who we are. We are the chosen seed. So you have to understand that the agenda against us will have to be something that is highly corrupt, because we are the ones that are going to come in and, just based off of our energy that we project into the universe, actually tears their structure down. So why wouldn't they go through all of these measures to try to take from you, to try to do dark magic against you, to try to sacrifice you? Absolutely. Okay, this is not a far-fetched thing that I'm bringing out to you. I've been called to bring these messages forward, and so I'm going to be a willing vessel and do just that. It doesn't matter how, far-fetched it might sound. We know the world that we are living in today, and so there's nothing new under the sun. You have a cousin that's also involved in this situation. These people are getting ready to go to prison. Imprisonment is at the bottom of the deck. Okay, imprisonment is at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you might have a male cousin that's involved in this situation. So we got a sister, a mother, a aunt. We have a spouse or lover. We have a false female friend, and we have a cousin that is involved in this situation. We have a private investigator that is watching and monitoring this whole structure. We got a husband and wife that's involved. We saw marriage come out first, husband and wife involved. So this is, family incest at the bottom of the deck. Sex trafficking right behind that, okay? And so these people are very sick, very sick people that are doing things against children, okay? Yeah, this says cameras in your home. So these people might be trying to put cameras in your home to try to watch you and monitor you. But even if they are monitoring you, they're stupid, because while they're monitoring you, they're being monitored by private investigators. While they sit up there watching you, there's somebody that's watching them. And the fools don't even know it. And even once they do find out about it, there's nothing they can do about it, because fate, destiny called for this thing to come to the forefront. So there's nothing that can be done. We have murder coming out, okay? We have she is lying, and we also have teacher. So there could be, like I said, somebody that's in a high position of authority, okay? Somebody who is highly respected by the community that was involved in this situation. Somebody is lying in regards to a murder. Somebody is lying in regards to someone's life being taken. And so there's a lot of corruption that's happening behind the scenes that we don't see. And like I told you, they was trying to seal illness your way. So if they're trying to send illness your way, then that's also a way of murder. If you are using dark magic to make someone chronically ill to the point where they end up losing their life for the sake of taking their inheritance, then yes, that is murder. That is absolutely murder. And so, yes, they probably have been successful at doing this to other people who was not up underneath the protection of the Most High God as the chosen seed. I'm pretty sure that they have been able to do this, because how else was they going to be able to feed their structure? So this was something that they have been doing for a long time. Okay, and they was able to get certain people in this generation, in this lifetime, because like I said, generational curses, it goes from one generation to the next. They was able to get certain people around you who was also a part of this situation, because they are not your true soul family. They are your karmic family. So look, cult activity. This is a cult. And then you have a crooked attorney. So let me see. I'm going to close out when it comes to this part, y'all. I hope this wasn't too overwhelming for you all. We're going to definitely do a part 2 so that we can really get into this thing, because like I said from the beginning, the revolution will not be televised. But I will use my position and my platform to televise everything that's going on behind the scenes that these people would not put at the forefront, because what's going to happen is the more that we become aware, the more that we can come together in unison to call out righteous judgment to come down on their heads, so that this structure can come down and come unhinged even faster. So that's what I got for y'all. I love you, and I'll be sure to talk to you all next time.